I'm sincere about this. When I go out, and yesterday, I get pretty passionate. And I just want to say I sincerely apologize for my words, not only if it hurt all the chiefs in that room, but all First Nations. Because we know that if we work together, and I said during the campaign, nothing moves without First Nations consultation, respecting duty to consult, and make sure that we work together. And I get passionate because I want prosperity for their communities. I want prosperity for their children and their grandchildren. And I also mentioned when I was in the meeting about when we work together, ourselves, be it the province, First Nations communities, and the federal government, we're unstoppable. And there's one person we need to stop, and it's Donald Trump. And I also always say the foundation of, be it healthcare, be it economic development, transportation, policing, within First Nations communities, starts with the economy. And there's no one that wants more to make sure everyone prospers than I do. And again, Grand Chief, I want to repeat it again. I sincerely apologize if I've offended anyone. I thought we had a phenomenal meeting, and there's a lot of work to do. We're going to continue to meet. I've been invited up to a lot of First Nations communities because Minister Rickford always promises me he's going to bring me fishing, but he never does. But a lot of chiefs have said, come by. And I've also always said, anytime I go to First Nations communities, they treat me like gold. And that I'll be forever grateful. But we're going to work together. We're going to get through this. And we're going to have a great collaboration. And as I said before, I'll always respect treaty rights. And I'll always respect duty to consult. Because without First Nations, we can't get the critical minerals out of the ground. We can't have the energy that we need, that the whole world wants. So again, Megwich, appreciate everything. Megwich, thank you.
Do you accept the Premier's apology, or and how did the meeting go?
Well, my name is Grand Council Chief Linda Dubosky, and I understand the media is here to, potentially highlight some of the discussion points, but also to continue to breathe life into perhaps what people call racist comments that were expressed yesterday. As First Nations people, we continue to uphold our treaty agreement with the Crown. Our nations today have met with the Premier at his invitation, at our request to meet. And so I can confirm that before the meeting started that the Premier has indeed and did indeed apologize to our First Nations rights holders sitting at that table today. While there are many other rights holders in this province, our chiefs felt today that the apology was sincere. We are looking at today as a new day going forward. And there are many things that, while we had many of our First Nations leadership here, our rights holders, we do have to take the conversation back to the remainder of our chiefs who are unable to be here due to crises and emergencies in their communities. And we will, reserve our comments until after that, but we can confirm that the Premier has agreed to continue the dialogue with our rights holders to move forward in a good way. He has fulfilled his responsibility in his apology to our chiefs that were sitting here in the presence of the Premier today. And I know the Premier knows that there is more to do in this regard, and I believe his words.
On Bill 5, is there any change in your view? I know you had expressed deep concern about the legislation and the special economic zones. Is there anything new to say about that?
Our nations, our First Nations within the Anishinaabe Nation remain opposed to Bill 5. The opposition remains in that of which the speed of Bill 5 was entertained, and this has been communicated to the Premier and to various ministers. The First Nations have, spoken with the Premier, have proposed ideas and solutions, and the Premier has made certain commitments that we're not going to speak to today. We do have to respect our nations who weren't in the room today to have those further discussions and to keep the discussions with the Premier within that realm. We are not here to perpetuate a circus, to perpetuate misinformation. We remain steadfast in the rights of our nations. We remain steadfast in supporting those rights and how our First Nations are going to work with the Crown. And I can commit that I can share that the Premier has committed to continue in having that ongoing dialogue with our rights holders in a respectful way.